Hello, LinkedIn. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Good, the Bad, the Spammy. If you haven't tuned in previously, welcome. This is where we dive into live sales emails that we've received and we pick them apart, see where they did really well, where they did not so well, where we can improve them, where we dig into it all. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm Jack. I'm the SDR manager over here at Mixmax. Let's get into it. So, subject line for this one, looking for outbound prospecting tools. I like this. I actually, as a team right now with so much going on, we want to get in front of the right audience. And how do you do this when you're outbounding? You want to find the people that are in the market for what you're selling. So, I do see the attempt here, looking for outbound prospecting tools. This gets to the people where if they're looking for this, awesome. They're going to probably look into your email. If they're not in the market, they won't. Simple as that. The bad part here is if you're trying to get into that audience that may not be in the market, but you still can sell to them, there is value to be had there, but they just don't know it yet. This puts you at a disadvantage. It shouts pitch right from the cuff. And yeah, you're just not going to be able to get as many people to really dig into what you're selling because it's so salesy. The first line, to me, this line is kind of confusing and disconnected from really what they're getting at here. And I also think the wording could be a little better in terms of what they're getting at. I understand where they're coming from, the unpredictability of the market right now, economy. Teams are wanting their reps to book more meetings, but they're not because inbound is down, so they're really trying to result to more outbound initiative. It's just not worded that way, and in a way it's kind of like a scare tactic that this is going on. So like, is this going to affect your team? It's just not worded that way effectively, and it doesn't really connect. Like, is this outbound prospecting? Like, how is it relating back to your subject line? So one thing to keep in mind is make sure they're connected, and when someone opens it, it's getting right into what you just put in your subject line, really. The next line where they go into what their company does, I find it like okay. It's not a slam dunk for me. I do think there's a lot of vagueness though. Like, you're staying in front of the curve, helping teams get in front of companies that are ready to buy. But how are you doing this? Like, for us, Mixmax, we're helping teams eliminate busy work. But how? Like, how are you doing this? So I think that's one thing to keep in mind is yes, tell them, but I do think that's really a big initiative if you're outbound messaging, really making it explicit as to where and how you're doing this and what companies are doing this with your company today. This line, I actually don't, I think it's pretty good. Can we help? I do think the one thing I would say here is like, instead of we, make it about them. Can your team be benefiting from getting in front of people or companies at the right time when they're ready to buy? See a time below. I like that. The last line, lunch will be on me. I'm all for incentives. Incentivize people to take a meeting with you if you really think they're a prospect that matches your ICP. With that said, what I've also learned from this is if you don't make it explicit, the prospect will get way too caught up in the offer instead of the value. So here, lunch will be on me. I can already see it. Hey, how does lunch work? How much is lunch? How much will you like pay me for, people will get way too caught up in that, and that's just one thing you don't want to have happen. You want them to be more about the value, and as a cherry on top, you're going to benefit them by giving them lunch for taking the time with you. So just one thing, like in your email, hey, lunch is on me, $20 Uber Eats gift card with your name on it. Open to times later this week. Simple, to the point, but just make sure it's explicit. Anyway, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you again for tuning in. Let us know in the comments if this helps, what more you can add to it. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you again, and have a great rest of your week, y'all. Bye.